In a grand exhibition in Bengal that hid the injustice of British then ruling India, amid the big crowd appeared a boy of 16 with a bundle of handbills carrying slogan Vande Mataram, distributing them to the people. In addition, the true purpose of the British in putting up the exhibition was exposed. The various forms of British injustice and tyranny were explained. Some of who were loyal to the King of England opposed and tried to prevent the boy from distributing the handbills, their eyes red with anger, but ignoring them, the boy calmly went on distributing the handbills. When some people tried to capture him, he smartly escaped. At last, a policeman caught hold of the boy's hand. He pulled at the bundle of handbills, but to catch the boy was not so easy. He jerked free his hand, swung the arm, and powerfully struck the nose of the policeman. Again, taking possession of the handbills, he said, "Take care, don't touch my body. I will see how you can arrest me without a warrant." The policeman who had received the blow rushed forward again, but the boy had disappeared in the midst of the crowd. As the people burst into cries of Vande Mataram, the police and those loyal to the king were filled with wonder and felt humiliated. Later, a case was filed against the boy, but the court set him on the ground of his tender age. Let us see in this video who this boy was and learn more about him. The heroic boy who distributed handbills so bravely at the Medinipur exhibition was Khudiram Bose. Khudiram Bose was born on 3rd December 1889 in the village Bahubeni in Medinipur district. His father, Trailokyanath Basu, was the Tahsildar of the town. His mother, Lakshmi Priya Devi, was a pious lady who was well known for her virtuous life and generosity. They unexpectedly died when Khudiram Bose was just 6. The boy's elder sister, Anupama Devi, and his brother-in-law, Amritlal, had to shoulder the responsibility of bringing him up. In his school, though his teachers shouted at the top of their voice, he did not hear the lessons. Thoughts entirely unrelated to the lessons were revolving in his head. A born patriot, even at the age of 7 or 8 years, Khudiram Bose thought, "India is our country. It is a great country. Elders say that this has been the home of knowledge for thousands of years. Why, then, are the red-faced British here? Under them, our people cannot even live as they wish. When I grow up, I must somehow drive them out." All day the boy was engaged in these thoughts. Thus, when he opened a book to read or took a plate to eat, he would see a red-faced, green-eyed, glaring Englishman, and the memory brought a strange pain to his heart. In a temple, Khudiram saw a few people lying on the bare ground and got to know that they will get up and go only after God appears in their dream and promises to cure their diseases. Khudiram thought for a moment and said, "One day I too will have to give up all thought of hunger and thirst and lie on the ground like these people." "What disease has struck you?" a man asked the boy. Khudiram laughed and said, "Can there be a disease worse than slavery? I will have to drive it out." Even at that young age, Khudiram had thought so deeply about the country's freedom. While he was thus worried, Khudiram one day heard the cry Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai from a group of dedicated, selfless people with noble character and pure life. He was thrilled by them, his eyes glowed and he felt happy. He went and introduced himself to them, which is when his formal education came to an end. In the days following his initiation, Khudiram learned the use of weapons like the pistol, the dagger and the lathi and became an expert. He understood that installing the auspicious image of Bharat Mata in every revolutionary was required by means of educating them the actual history, teaching them and spreading Vande Mataram. When Bipin Chandrapal's newspaper that used to inspire a lot of people who in turn supported the paper by gathering outside the court and shouting Vande Mataram, the steel-helmeted police used to make inhuman lathi charges on the crowd. Besides, they would inflict harsh punishments even for small crimes. Kingsford, the chief presidency magistrate of Calcutta, was one such cruel officer. Similarly, on the 26th of August 1907, when such a case was going on, thousands of youths had gathered as usual before the court. Even before they shouted Vande Mataram, a sturdy red-faced policeman suddenly started beating the young men with a lathi. Nobody resisted, but the lathi in the hands of that sturdy person wheeled round with a greater force. Sushil Kumar Sen, a boy of 15, unable to bear the sight, suddenly pounced on the Englishman and struck a powerful blow on the nose, who was 4 times as big as he. Pulling away the lathi charge from his hand, the boy went on beating the Englishman himself, who had not known what it was to be thrashed. The other policemen arrested and took him to the court. The magistrate who conducted the trial was Kingsford, notorious for his cruelty, ordered a punishment of 15 lashes. The police took out Sushil, stripped him and mercilessly gave him 15 lashes. Sushil did not weep, nor did his smile fade. At every stroke he cried Vande Mataram. Long before this, the revolutionaries had thought of teaching a lesson to Kingsford, who was a monster in human form. The punishment which he gave to Sushil Kumar Sen added to their fury. As long as Kingsford lived, it was a menace to the patriots, hence they decided to kill him. All of a sudden, the leader's eye fell on Khudiram, who was sitting in a corner. "Can you do this grim work?" asked him. "With your blessings, what's impossible?" Khudiram answered him with a question. Khudiram continued, "At worst, they can hang me. Master, I take it as a boon. Bharat Mata is my father, mother and everything. To give up my life for her is, I consider, an act of merit. My sole desire is only this. Till our country wins freedom, I will be born here again and again and sacrifice my life." The leader happily said Prafulla Chakki will go with you. Prafulla Chakki, quite sturdy and of about the same age as Khudiram, stood near him. Prafulla was a native of Rangapur of East Bengal. At the time of the partition of Bengal, he had walked out of school with 80 boys, all shouting Vande Mataram. The leader of the revolutionaries gave each of the boys, Khudiram and Prafulla, 2 revolvers, a bomb and a little money, and sent them with his blessings. They set out full of zest to end the life of Kingsford. It was on the night of April 30, 1908 that Khudiram and Prafulla approached the European club at Muzaffarpur. With a revolver and a bomb ready, they hid themselves waiting for Kingsford to come out. The carriage approached. Khudiram aimed at the carriage and threw the bomb inside. The first bomb thrown against the British by India leaped from a young hand. As the bomb touched the coach, there was a deafening explosion. A blood-curdling cry was also heard at the same moment. Without watching to see what would happen next, Khudiram and Prafulla ran away in different directions. Kingsford was lucky he was not in the carriage on which Khudiram threw the bomb. Instead, there were Kingsford's guests, the wife and the daughter of a lawyer, Kennedy by name, and a servant. The daughter and the servant died immediately. Mrs. Kennedy, who was seriously injured, died a day or 2 later. Khudiram ran throughout the night along the railway line without stopping. He stopped only in the morning. By then he had run about 25 miles. He reached a place known as Laka near the railway station at Veni. He had run without rest and was quite exhausted. He was unbearably hungry. Buying some fried corn, he started eating. By then, the news of the Muzaffarpur incident had spread in all directions. At the very shop where Khudiram was eating, people were talking about it. Khudiram listened with curiosity. Hearing that 2 women died, he forgot himself for a moment and asked, "What? Didn't Kingsford die?" Khudiram's words drew the attention of the people in the shop. The boy looked like a stranger to the place. Utter fatigue was clear in his face. The shopkeeper's suspicion grew stronger. He entertained the hope that he would be rewarded if he could expose the criminal. Immediately after serving water to Khudiram, he gave a hint to the police going on their usual rounds nearby. As Khudiram raised the glass to his mouth, the police arrived and caught hold of him. Khudiram failed in his attempt to take out the revolver from his pocket. Both the revolvers in his pockets were seized by the police. Khudiram was not in the least upset. Prafulla Chakki, not allowing the police officers to touch him when he was alive, shot himself and died a heroic death. The police cut off his head and carried it to Muzaffarpur. Khudiram was brought by train to Muzaffarpur under a heavy guard. People had assembled in thousands to see the boy who had thrown a bomb for the first time in Indian history against the British. As soon as Khudiram got into the carriage to go to the police station, he shouted with a smile, "Vande Mataram." Tears of pride welled up in the eyes of the people. Afterward, a case was filed against Khudiram. There were 2 lawyers on the government side. There was no one at Muzaffarpur whom Khudiram could call his own. Then a senior advocate by name Kalidas Bose came forward to argue for him. The pretense of a trial took 2 months. In the end, the magistrate read his judgment, sentencing Khudiram to death. When the judgment was being read, Khudiram did not show even a faint trace of fear. The judge was surprised that a boy of 19 years accepted death so calmly. "Do you know what this judgment means?" he asked. Khudiram replied with a smile, "I know its meaning better than you." The judge asked, "Have you anything to say?" "Yes, I have to explain a few things about making bombs." The judge was now curious that Khudiram might make a statement explaining how to make bombs and thus teach everyone in the court. Hence, he did not allow the boy to make a statement. Khudiram had not expected justice in a British court, but Kalidas Bose yearned to save Khudiram. He appealed to the Calcutta High Court on behalf of Khudiram. The judge of the High Court also understood Khudiram's nature. The fearless eyes and the determined face of the boy filled him too with wonder. He confirmed the death sentence given by the lower court, but he postponed the date of the execution from 6th August 1908 to 19th August. "Do you wish to say anything?" the judge asked. Khudiram said, "Like the heroic Rajput women, I wish to die for the freedom of my country. The thought of the gallows does not make me unhappy in the least. My only regret is that Kingsford could not be punished for his crimes." Even in prison, he was not at all worried. As death approached him, face grew brighter. He thought that the sooner he sacrificed his life, the sooner he could be born again and fight for the freedom of his motherland. This is not a mere legend. Khudiram put on 2 pounds in the jail. As had been decided, Khudiram was brought to the gallows at 6 a.m. on the 19th of August 1908. Even then, the smile on his face had not faded. Serenely, he walked to the post. He had a copy of the Bhagavad Gita. For the last time, he cried aloud, "Vande Mataram," and then put his hand into the noose.